think it too.
Hey, podcasters, we're here. The ladies of Read, Watch, and Wine. And I'm Rhea.
Treva.
Champagne.
And Lynn.
And today we are here to talk about Lovecraft Country. It's a lot up in this book and in this series. Man, this is just... First of all, let me just say, you all, I didn't know what this was about when we decided that we were going to read this. So I was
shame on you. Shame on you.
About everything. But before we get started, Lynn, what wine are we drinking today?
We are drinking relaxed wine. I feel like it is definitely fitting for today and prices. As you guys know, I told you before when we drank it a while ago that it's very refreshing, not super sweet, not super dry, and the price of it is great. So you don't break your pockets, but you also have good wine. And it's kind of cute. It's like a sapphire color. I like it.
That's one of my favorite Rieslings. Yum. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what it was. It was a Riesling. Sorry, guys.
No worries, I got you.
We know what it is. We know what it is. We know what it is.
My Cape May glass from when we went on our venture there.
Oh.
Yes.
So yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's dive into this. So let's talk about the book before we dive into the adaptation. First of all, I can't even remember. Who is the author of the book? Anybody?
Mark Ruff something.
Roughneck?
I can't remember.
I don't think it's Roughneck. You gotta get a Roughneck. Don't think so.
I could look it up, but I can't.
Okay, so while somebody might be looking it up, the book, I'm going through it, and then I was confused, and it was flopping back and forth, and then it seemed like this sci-fi stuff, and I was just all over the place with it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, "Ooh, this was good!" At the end of it. Yes. Champagne, you found the author?
Yes. It actually is exactly what Lynn said. Matt Ruff.
Oh,
yeah, Ruff.
Matt Ruff. So, what did y'all think about the book?
Okay, first of all, wait. Because I did not know that what this book was about either.
Thank you.
I think last time Rhea was saying how, it's a little scary. You were in conversation, and I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Wait a whoa. What do you mean? It's Lovecraft, so I'm thinking it's a love story. So it's so far away from that completely. So yeah,
kind of a love story.
But it's stretching. That's stretching.
I had saw it and I was like, because I did, of course, my research, and I was like, oh my God, Jordan Peele and like J.J. Abrams, sci-fi, history, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put it on the list and not say anything. And then when Rhea was like, "Oh, Lovecraft," I'm like,
"Yeah." See, you know what, Champagne? We gotta check them. Because they play the game.
When the two of us are into it, something ain't.
Your privileges are now cut off.
Right. Because I remember that conversation. Because Lynn was like, "Yeah," because the spookiness of it, and I was like, "Well, what do you mean spookiness of it? What are you talking about? You remember that, Lynn?" Because I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm reading it, and we're talking about bears eating up people in the woods, and I don't know what you're talking about.
You know how Rhea and I can, like, literally have a whole full conversation with, like, no English, no words. Like, so this is why y'all gotta catch on.
and Lynn, they want to talk about you have to translate for me. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that ain't funny. Because the first time I put that television show on and that monster thing came out the woods, they set me up. They set me up.
Like, what is happening? What's going on?
The Champagne waiting for the walk on the ocean side.
Love country are we going to today? Like,
she thought they was going to sit down and have some wine on the side of the road.
Right? Exactly.
In Northumberland.
Right. She thought it was
going to be really? Yeah, to throw that.
So for me, book. I, of course, loved it. it can't be just like, oh, a nice smooth process. Like
Right.
if this is what
Has
you
to
want,
hurt.
this is what you aspire to be, it has to hurt.
Hurt.
So for it to like peel off and hurt,
That
was
makes
like,
sense.
oh,
That makes sense. Yeah,
The
you're right.
first time it happened, I was like, this is some bullshit right here. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm not getting through this. I was like, what the?
sitting on the couch,
And
like,
I loved it.
jaw on
Every
the ground,
minute of
like,
it.
oh my god, yes. And then like
To
I
the
just,
to the point where I was mad that she didn't change more often. I was like, come on, can we do it like a few more times? Like, come on, come on.
You.
yes.
No.
So graphic and
Now it
so
was a
wonderful.
little bit much when we was sleeping with the girl that was a guy, and then she like the back scratches. I was like, okay, that's a little much. I don't want slothing skin falling on my face while I'm having sex.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was awesome. And
I
when she was
was
on top of the
texting you.
store manager. What about on the store manager? Like, that was so awesome.
Yeah,
I can't.
that part
Oh,
detail. And then I'm trying to blank on everybody's name. I should have started drinking before I started this podcast.
well, wait. While we're still talking about Ruby, can I
Okay.
just tell y'all that when Ruby was abusing the store manager and they played Cardi B, the red bottom piece of the song, I was like, I'm done. Red bottom. I was like, what?
Loved it. Loved every minute of
Most
it.
of it was
And that-
older. It brought that newness to it. I was like, I like this.
Yes, that was one of
And
my.
they hooked her up all through the movie. They hooked Cardi up all
Right.
through the movie.
And the funny thing is, before I realized what type of movie this was when they started, because I think it was in the first or second episode where they started playing modern music, and I'm like, wait, isn't this in the 50s? They don't know that about it. Until I got later on, I was like, oh, okay, I got it. But yeah.
But I mean, the writers and the producers of this movie were so brilliant because every single song tied into the scenes. You know, sometimes it's just background music, but I started after the Cardi B song, and I'm like, that is like the best song, and the part that they played was the best part to be playing while she was kind of stabbing him in the butt with the heel. I started listening to the songs, even if I didn't really know them, and they were so appropriate for the scene that it was just. They just did a fabulous job on the series to me.
The
Right.
research that went into this was it was phenomenal. And honestly, I'm ready for like part 2.
Even though there's no book, right?
Right, basically.
Keep
And
it going. I don't even care. Keep it going.
So they can make it work. They can make it work.
Let me tell you, it's a couple of scenes in here. I was already a Journey Smollett fan from when I was younger. But let me tell you, she was hilarious in this movie. One particular scene when they were walking on this plank and she kirked out on them. I literally lost it. She is so funny. It was a scene where they were walking across. They were in the museum, the bottom of the museum.
Went down to like the cave part.
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
And they were trying to walk across or whatever. She was kirked. Every time she kirked out, especially when the scene when they went into the
Right.
restaurant.
Out of here.
Get your ass up. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Oh, when they were at the restaurant?
Yeah. You can't calm about something like that. Like your safety. And so if she was like calm, like, oh guys, we gotta go, it wouldn't have been impactful. But she put extra little like Salt Bay stuff on there. It was like, we gotta get out of here. I was like, God, no.
Right.
I feel like the real her came out in those scenes. Like, you know what? Because that's how I feel like we would act. And it's so funny that you mentioned that one scene because I was kind of upset because, you know, the graphic person in me. I mean, the scene was okay in the museum, but I was looking for what actually happened in the museum. I was kind of upset. I was like, wait a minute, where's the other guy? Where's this other stuff coming through? It wasn't as
like
Indiana Jones-ish. Yeah, it was. I expected it to be a little bit more Indiana Jones-ish. But it was still good. It was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the podcast really was breaking down the scenes for me to the point where I had to go back and rewatch some of the episodes.
Yeah.
But I actually appreciated it because it just made me love it even more. But the symbolism in the whole series was just, it was crazy. Like, and they used the term the white gaze. And they were just talking about like the impact of all of these things that impact African Americans as it relates to like this superior race. And just even the language of using like the dominant race and the minority race is all just, intentionally structured in a way to make minorities feel inferior. And it manifests itself in anger and frustrations and just the whole impact on that, on just people's lifestyles. We see today, like, someone that's just so angry because they're just not happy with the fact, I'm going to say not happy with the fact that they're Black, but the fact that they can't get everything that they need, and when they're Black, so they do whatever they can to sort of fit in. Like, that's kind of what Ruby was doing. But we see that in today's society. We see people who just get suppressed because they're not recognized for things that they do, like Hippolyta, who, by the way, inspired my background. Like, she, named a comet, but they couldn't even take the name of it because of the fact that she was a little Black girl, and she ended up being this person that kind of lost herself until she went to the planet of the other world, or whatever it was, which was, oh Lord, that was empowering.
That was the best.
Or people go the opposite direction, like George, who says, okay, I'm just going to help Black people. I'm going to put this guide together so they know where to go. Or they become angry, like Montrose. And so me personally, I can like place a Black person in each one of those sort of personalities. And it blew me away. I'm sorry, I'm acting like Lynn with overthinking all of this stuff right now. But it was resonating me all through, and I'm like, wow, you just don't know the impact of how all of this historical stuff played in all of our lives. So anyway,
that's kind of how when I was watching the movie, I mean, a little bit in the book, but in the movie, that's really, what resonated for me. I probably watched the women empowerment scenes probably 8 times. That to me, it just was very, very touching, because I think as women, especially women of color, you are always bottom of the barrel, no matter what it is, no matter what you've accomplished, whether it be in, your work environment or in personal lives. I have this conversation all the time because it always seems like we are never enough, even for our own men. In this society, in this world, in this day and age, it's like, okay, what else in the world can I do? I mean, and so the women, that Black woman empowerment scene that talks so much about, they're actually afraid of us because we have there's so much in us that we could really take things to another level, and they're not ready for it. Like, we are so past that. And so for me, it just was very, very personal. And I will probably continue to watch that scene or those scenes for a few years to come.
I agree with you. I love them. And then it was just the rainbow of shades of Black people. And it wasn't the pitting the light skin against the dark skin and the brown skin, and, all of this stuff that was imposed on us. Like, we didn't feel that way about each other.
We didn't feel that way, but it was mentioned in like the first couple episodes, especially when Letty came back. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, oh yeah, you can go out and gallivant around and do whatever you want to do, and then you in your mind think that you can go to this department store and get this job because of your skin tone. And being of a darker skin tone is like, nah, be realistic. You can't do that. And so I'm glad that they did put a little bit of colorism in there, because back then, like, there was a lot of colorism.
Absolutely, yeah.
Eventually, it kind of like swept under the table and was like, look, we're sisters before anything else, whether one is darker, one's lighter, it doesn't matter. Right. And then you might have a different dad than I do, but it doesn't matter. We're still sisters. And so I like it that they just kind of squashed that colorism thing. They mentioned it because it was there and it's still relevant now, but they were able to like basically be like, look, sisters before anything else. Right. But
I think they, in my opinion, I feel like they mentioned it in sort of the series to show how it has divided us. But in like the woman empowerment world that Rhea was talking about, like, it was the rainbow color, and it wasn't that. Every Black woman in that scene was powerful, and it just didn't matter because they scared of us. And they started slaughtering, and I was like, yes. I know it's sad. I shouldn't have been happy about this.
I literally, it's really sad, but word for word, it's written down. That entire speech is written down because I typed it up. and it is right beside my desk at my house, and the scene is on my phone, and I can play because I literally recorded it off. I don't know if that's legal, maybe, but anyway, I recorded it off the television so that I can play it when I get in my moments. Like, really, dude? Like, really? We don't have to be mixed to be cute. We can be black. We don't have to be, you know what I mean? We're okay how we are. And anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to comment because I could go on a whole tangent. You know me.
Exactly.
I agree, Rhea.
So can I.
Right.
I ain't got to be cute for a black dark-skinned girl. Like, can I just be cute? So?
Exactly.
Or being like,
that's not a compliment.
I'm black squared, bitch. They're both black.
Right.
Well, somebody's got to be white. Oh, yeah, when the slave masters were raping people, yeah, that's when they were white. Now, go corner over there.
But I don't get that. Trina, so what are you, black?
Right. I'm Negro.
What are you mixed with? I'm black.
Where do your eyes come from? Oh, the flea market in Baltimore. I bought them. That's what I tell everybody. You could ask them.
Actually, they actually come from Africa, where all of us come from. So think about that.
I think it's funnier people's face when I say the flea market because we're like, what? Tangent.
Dumbass.
Go back. But yeah.
I think we all can relate to that scene of empowerment, but it was uplifting, and it was just sort of like, you're right. We can do whatever we want. We are ruling this world, and it's just, I don't know. It's so appropriate to hear right now because what's going on in the world today that I think, as Black people, specifically Black women, and I'm speaking for Black women because we're all Black women, that, we need it. Because every time we try to step up and be empowering, we get labeled as the angry Black woman and all of these things, these labels they put on us that are so negative. And I'm like, but they're not. I can speak my mind and I should be able to feel comfortable speaking my mind.
Exactly.
So anyway.
And if you look at me funny and I cuss you out, I'm not angry, okay? Staring at me.
Yeah, it's a little different. A little bit different.
Yeah. So anything else in the book that stands out for any of y'all that you want to talk about? I know it was so much, so it's like hard to capture everything.
Just one thing for me. The author, I didn't realize that the title of this series and book was based on an author's last name, like Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft, who was an author probably back in the 1800s or whatever. He was an American writer of weird and horror fiction, but he was also racist. Mm-hmm. So it all kind of came together. I'm like, okay, got it.
All these connections,
all
right?
These connections, yeah. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. So the other thing, and I'm surprised Lynn didn't mention this, is that the other thing that I found out just in the series is in the podcast, they gave a recommendation to watch some documentary, and it was like the history of African American horror or Black horror, and how Black people were never leading characters or anything in these horror movies. And, Jordan Peele kind of turned this around. And this is another example of kind of a sort of a sci-fi horror movie where Black people were leading. So Ray and Lynn, I'm sure you guys are really excited about that tad bit of history because you guys like horror movies. But I didn't even realize that, it didn't even click in my brain. Well, dang, you know what? Black people aren't in horror movies except for in one or two roles.
Or they died first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the success of this, series, Jordan Peele is actually going to be producing a Wes Craven series, basically.
Yep.
It is not a book.
I'm proud of my brother.
I'm gonna watch it.
I ain't gonna watch it. This is a book.
I'm gonna need him to just put me in it because I can do it.
Really?
You sure can.
Yeah. Based on that right there. Yeah, he should.
That's awesome, though. I didn't realize. I mean, Wes Craven is such a big name in horror,
Very scary.
That's just that is good news. But I'm gonna tell you that Jordan Peele,
is it a book? Is it a book? Oh.
that Jordan Peele has you thinking for days. Like his movies make you think too much. Because had me messed up for a couple days.
Yeah.
To Get Out had me messed up for a couple days.
That's true. I forgot about Get Out. Yeah.
Oh, but wait a minute. How about the girls? How about the twins? Well, they're not really twins, but how about the twins that were following her? Oh my gosh, that was like hilarious.
One of them went to FAMU.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
One of them went to FAMU.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
characters were so creepy, and as they would just stand there. One of the other scenes I wanted to mention, or I guess scenarios, was when Atticus was in Japan. And I was okay at first with like the serpent, but then it started going into orifices, and I was like, what? And it was like hair.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh.
That was so exciting.
It was so good.
So exciting.
That was disgusting.
Creepy.
It was disgustingly beautiful, put it that way, because it was gross.
Sure
and I don't get grossed out very easily. It grossed me out, and I was like, oh,
guys.
That was some nastiness right there. Like, I didn't even understand any parts of that.
Me either.
And you said there was no love. There you go.
If that's love, you can keep it.
You're right, because remember she was in love with him. She was in love with him. That's the love scene.
To die to sleep with me. I was like, ooh, she right about that. Are you willing to die?
Take her for her word, dude.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Like from taking Atticus, like, I mean, that's love right there. So you have your love, which is crafty.
Yeah, you can keep that
and
love.
Multicultural or countries. So there we go, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
That's a stretch.
Uh-huh.
It sounded good.
I do love how they weaved in all real relevant events like the Tulsa burning, Black Wall Street burning and Emmett Till, and then even the Korean War. Like, that was nice how they were weaving in real life events.
Yeah.
So much. Have any objections to the cast? Because I think it was perfect.
I don't care for Atticus.
Yeah, that's the only one they could have. I'm not a fan of Atticus either.
Me either.
Yeah. So other than that, he's a great actor. Not taking away from that, but he's just not what I pictured.
He wasn't what
I think he did a great job, but he wasn't what I pictured either.
Right.
But it's okay. It was good.
He is now Atticus.
Montrose, Hippolyta, like
perfect.
All of them, like they were just awesome.
Ruby, the what's her name? Christina.
Yes.
Christina fit the mold, hands down. She was perfect.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was something about the Atticus character that I just didn't like.
Yeah, I couldn't connect with it.
I didn't. I mean, I liked him, but I didn't like him in that role.
Yeah.
But that would be my only criticism.
Mine too.
I don't know. I think some of his mannerisms kind of threw me off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and I get the direction they changed it to make him a little bit more angry, but I just didn't want him that aggressive and angry. And I really just wanted him to follow the book just slightly with just kind of being the polished, intelligent person. And he was still intelligent, but there was just something about, like, he was more brute than I expected. I didn't want him to be that brute.
Yeah, I agree.
But, I mean, honestly, it didn't make a difference because I absolutely love the series. I absolutely love the book. I love the series. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell y'all that it's getting a full glass. And if somebody does not get it a full glass, I'm shutting the podcast down.
Well, I would like to
shut up. Right.
You know I absolutely love it.
That's why I started before the podcast even started. I absolutely loved it. I had a full glass.
It evaporated. That's all happened.
Full bottle, but yeah, that's a little empty now too.
Did it evaporate or?
Yeah, I mean, Lovecraft came in and just took it.
I'm saying.
I believe it. I believe it. I
also give it a full glass. It did. It was once they put in that Atticus' future son, then I was good.
Yeah.
So, full glass.
So that means a full bottle.
Ooh, love
Most deserving of a full bottle.
Craft. It's a little old series that
that don't make you laugh.
No. I changed the lyrics to Love Shack. Sorry.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Lynn?
And for some of us, watched during the day.
Right. Seriously though, have you guys been having a lot of Lovecraft moments since you watched it? Because there's just some really weird stuff happening to me.
Yeah.
Since I started watching it,
I feel like some Lovecraft came through the TV. Because well, as you know, I always become the characters anyway. And I've had a few incidents in like Starbucks and at Harris Teeter where what? You know what I mean? And so Lovecraft has really affected me.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about it's made you more of an angry black woman.
Yeah. We were talking about the spellish type stuff.
Right. I'm saying I'm walking through, somebody taps me, and I'm like, what the? And there's nobody there.
Oh, that's not good. I'm glad that it's over.
Yeah.
I can't take no more Lovecraft spooky around me. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right. Because, I watch Lovecraft, and next thing you know, I'm trying to leave Ray's house at night, and there's, mattresses spread out across the and I can't drive.
When I tell you this fool calls me, like she's like breathing like this, Ray. I don't know what. Somebody put something in the road, and I'm scared, and I don't know if I should back up or if I should go around. And I'm like, okay, I just spit out. Oh my God, I never looked to the right. Somebody could have been coming down there. Okay, you're on the road now. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep driving. I'm going like 90 miles an hour until you're out of the woods.
I'm with you. I believe it. I would have been scared of my wits.
That was some crazy mess, and Ray doesn't understand. There were shadows walking behind the car coming to get me.
I believe you.
She doesn't understand that, and I don't. It's just anyway. So I'm ready to put Lovecraft behind us.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Your feedback on this movie, this book, this television series, and even if you listen to Lovecraft Radio, there's just so much to talk about as it relates to this whole storyline. We would love to hear from you. So
please.
It's really on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook.
Yeah,
Twitter, or you can hit us on our website at watchwine.com.
All right. Follow us. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Love.
Hear the hands coming.
Oh, see? Lovecraft.